This is Luke Paulson, the Catholic Conservative, and welcome to the news of the week for February 22nd, 2025. And if you enjoy these videos, do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. Handouts for dead people. We all know that the federal government is wasteful beyond all measure. One part of that corruption is the entitlement programs. St. Paul tells the Thessalonian church, if you do not work, you ought not eat. He then goes on to tell Timothy that the charity of the church is the last-ditch resort. If you stop handing things out, people will start working. However, this story is not about entitlements. I feel sorry for those who clicked away already from a video that is only about a minute long. Moving on. According to the Western Journal, D.O.G.E found that 1.5 million Americans were getting Social Security despite being listed as over 150 years old. Furthermore, 1,041 people got payments despite being over 220 years old. Assuming average conditions and that these people live the average life expectancy, that is roughly $2.5034 trillion of fraudulent payments. I would like to note that 150 years is roughly twice the total life expectancy of the average American, and 220 years is roughly 3 times the total life expectancy of the average American. Furthermore, the U.S. federal deficit for 2023 was about $1.7 trillion. According to the CBO, the projected deficit is $1.9 trillion for 2025. This means that if we could get this money back in one lump sum, we could potentially be in the black. Granted, nothing exists in a vacuum, but D.O.G.E is doing amazing work. So the Democrats were right. Musk did go after Social Security payments, but only people who were already dead. I wonder how many government payments are going out to other dead people, or businesses that are already down and out. It may be harder to find out than we think. A dangerous line item. D.O.G.E is finding a lot of waste. However, this one might just take the cake. In the Treasury, a total of $4.7 billion in payments were made, missing a critical code that made tracing where the money went almost impossible. The code itself links the check to a specific line item on the budget. As of 1 week ago, this is now a mandatory field. I cannot prove this, but I'm going to guess that the money went to things that the federal government is not officially doing. Now you might be saying, this does not affect me, but you could not be more wrong. Checks from the government never bounce. This means that the recipients always get the money. This means that there is more money circulating in the country than goods and services of the same value. This leads to inflation, such as at your local grocery store. The prices are going up because of massive government spending. Right after the checks came because the government shut down the entire economy over what amounted to a common cold in 2020, people were happy. Then inflation went up. Taxation is stealing from your paycheck. Inflation is stealing from the value of your savings account. Furthermore, D.O.G.E found that in 2023, $25 billion in tax refunds were lost or delayed. This is affecting our wallets at both ends. However, unlike most millionaires and billionaires who insert their way into government, Musk is set to lose money. Musk loses a contract. The Cybertruck is a very well-constructed vehicle, so strong that a terrorist who tried to use it as a weapon against Trump only hurt himself in the process. Under Brandon, Tesla got a $400 million contract to build armored Teslas or Cybertrucks. Naturally, now that Elon Musk is with D.O.G.E, the fake news has decided that President Trump initiated this contract as a personal favor. More proof of their Musk derangement syndrome. Not only did President Trump not initiate the deal, he and Musk eliminated the deal.
Because that's what heroes do.
It is what happens when you stand on principle. Granted, while he is a great businessman and wonderful in the government, his personal life is another issue. So we unfortunately need to talk about Ashley St. Clair. Musk's infidelity. Musk brought his son with an unpronounceable name to the White House, but that is not the story. Elon Musk allegedly has a 13th child. A woman named Ashley St. Clair is alleging that she had another one of his children. I have no reason to doubt Musk's lack of a moral personal life, and I will not be defending it. I also will not celebrate another child allegedly growing up in a fatherless home. However, I will say that I do not consider a person's personal failings. I consider the person. The number of people who have helped humanity over the years while being unfaithful is numerous, but here is a short list. Benjamin Franklin, Martin Luther King Jr., John F. Kennedy, Pablo Picasso, Nelson Mandela, Thomas Jefferson, and Mahatma Gandhi. Mark Antony famously said that the evil that men do lives after them, and the good is often buried with their bones. You will not find me defending Musk's personal life on this channel. I, however, choose to focus on his public life. Whatever it is that Martin Luther King Jr. did in his personal life did not change the outcome of his work. As such, I like to focus on Musk's magnificent work at D.O.G.E. While D.O.G.E. has been a huge success, not all of President Trump's decisions have been ethical. Trump supports IVF. Not all of President Trump's executive orders were good. One expands IVF. This is not even a good idea in theory, and even worse in practice. The problem is that the unwanted children are discarded like trash after the fact. As such, President Trump is securing funding for abortion. Several pro-life groups are trying to get D.O.G.E. to remove abortion's federal funding. The enemy just has to keep making more targets for us to shoot at. If you cannot have a baby naturally, many children want to have a forever home. There are actually more couples waiting for a child than are aborted. Maybe instead of killing these children, we show them love. Well, those were some very dense topics. How about we move on to topics related to the culture war? Amazon brings back books. Jeff Bezos has been accused of cozying up to President Trump. If cozying up means trying to make America great again, then yes, he is. Combine this with his ownership of the Washington Post and Amazon, and he is a huge threat to Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird is here to remind you to never question the official narrative. Now, 2 major books have been restored to the platform: When Harry Became Sally and No Dress for Timmy. Previously, they were not only removed, but the entire listing was taken down so that even used copies could not be sold. As a general rule, those who are banning books are rarely the good guys. Now I need to answer a nonsense objection from the liberals because they will make it. There's a difference between removing a book from school classrooms because it is not appropriate for children and eliminating the book from existence. Ever since President Trump defined gender and had D.O.G.E. start cleaning house, America has slowly begun to heal. Germany, however, is going backward. German safeguards. It has been well established at this point that Britain is not a source of free speech. After all, they arrest people for what they post online because it discriminates against the gangs that abuse women. The people cannot fight back because they have all been disarmed. Germany is also arresting people for what they post. And they recently sent in armored police at 6 in the morning to deal with a person who shared a racist meme online. I put it in quotes because I could not find the meme in question. I guess they learned their lesson after people started sharing the drawings of Muhammad. We know that homeschools are illegal in Germany, a holdover from the National Socialists. Abandonment of free speech is also a holdover. This way, the reigning party can control all thought and reason. Furthermore, these people also believe that saying something hateful online should have a higher degree of punishment because it is around forever. CBS and the sheeple who watch them religiously still have very severe Trump derangement syndrome. They believe that someone who wants to limit government power also wants to be a dictator. The cackling hens on The View and MSDNC have stated that they are fearful that he will take them off the air. He did not last time, and thus there's no reason to believe that he will this time. As such, CBS via 60 Minutes wants to crack down on any speech that they disagree with to stop censorship. Because this makes sense! Speaking of international issues, let us look at how Pope Francis is attacking President Trump's border policy. Pope Francis in his walled city. Pope Francis lives in a walled city with his own security detail. As a result, he is the best person to talk about President Trump's immigration policy.
One more thing!
They do not just let anyone in, as there are rules for entry and even strict dress codes. Yes, a dress code. That is stricter than the southern border under President Trump. As soon as Vatican City starts letting in anyone who wants to come in, Pope Francis can talk about immigration. Naturally, Pope Francis is saying that President Trump's immigration policy is, quote, built on force and not truth, close quotes. How about he handles his job as a spiritual leader from the chair of St. Peter, and President Trump's team will handle border security in America. And naturally, President Trump is doing very well in international politics. He might even get our stolen money back from Ukraine. Trump abandons Ukraine. Zelensky is a dictator, and there are no two ways about it. He has suspended elections, implemented martial law, and even kept people from attending church if it was the wrong denomination. He has even admitted that he lost our money. All reasons why the Democrats love him. Officially, the Ukrainian people might not re-elect him. As such, the Democrats have decided that President Trump needs to get behind Zelensky to ensure his victory, because the United States backing a dictator always works out. George Washington even warned us to stay out of European affairs. But we could not help ourselves. One thing that President Trump has offered is access to Ukraine's precious metals in exchange for protection. We are defending them with our money. It is only right that we get paid back. America is not a bottomless pit of money for the entire world. President Trump demanded $500 billion worth of precious metals and rare earth metals. And according to him, they agreed. Does this mean that we should keep fighting their war on behalf of their dictator? Since we are getting everything back, it is a better deal. As such, everything worked out in the end. One thing that these metals can be used for is all of the batteries for electric vehicles that stop imaginary global warming. As such, let us look at that. Looking at the weather. Here in North Texas, we just got a huge cold spell. Naturally, this is proof of global warming, something that will kill us all even if the models have never come to fruition and never will. Naturally, liberals have said that the overall warming throws the ecosystem out of control, resulting in lower temperatures. However, that sounds like a rescue device if you ask me. Back in the 1970s, the major scare was global cooling and the threat of a new ice age. The solution was taxation and government control. That never panned out, and so the new fear was global warming. The solution was taxation and government control. That never panned out, and so the new fear is climate change. Climate change, a definition so broad that it can describe any weather phenomenon. The solution is taxation and government control. I am sure that you are seeing the pattern. Fear leads to taxation and government control, and then changing the source of the fear every so often. We saw the same thing with the China virus. Even though all of the precautions were not based in science, we will deal with the consequences as a result. This video started with the successes of Elon Musk. So let me end this video with some of his plans. Filming the gold. Elon Musk has floated the idea of going into Fort Knox and filming the gold to make sure that it is still there. I would not doubt that it was used as collateral to pay off some despot overseas. As such, if it is not there, we are paying guards to guard nothing. Now, I severely doubt that this cinematic excursion will actually happen. But a man can dream. Here is why it is important. Supposedly, our money is backed up with the gold at Fort Knox, even though it is not. That is because our government started printing more money than gold that existed to back it up. This created inflation. As a result, our money is worth even less. If Elon Musk can get spending under control, President Trump may be able to reverse President Johnson's disastrous executive order that took us off of the gold standard. By the way, taking us off of the gold standard was one of the first orders after Kennedy was assassinated, but I am sure that it's just a coincidence.
Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion. And do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. But before you go, on the left I have last week's video, but you may also enjoy the video on the right.